Hey, 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 I am back. It is our final panel conversation of the Beautypreneur series. Super excited about this one because I think that all of the conversations that we had are extremely important, but we have to figure out how we're going to deal with the reality that we are living through, and that is a global pandemic. And this conversation is going to be how we shift and move forward through a pandemic with what we do. It's hard to practice social distancing when we provide services like hair and makeup. So I have an amazing panel of women for you all today that are going to share some insight on what they are doing and how we change our mindsets and we go into the new landscape of what the beauty world looks like. So to start off our conversation, I'm going to bring on our moderator, Miss Darian.
Hi.
How are you today, darling?
I'm doing pretty good today. I'm really excited. I feel like just knowing that I was going to be in conversation with so many amazing people today was like such a huge motivator for today, you know? So
yes, girl. I'm still only wearing sweats from the waist down. I'm not even going front.
Same.
I think, you know, it's the pandemic outfit. So it's like, oh, I gotta only look decent from here up. So yeah, but this was still something for me to look forward to. Next in, I'm gonna bring in our panelists. I'm gonna bring in Miss Nicole Newland. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much.
I'm good.
Thank you so much for putting this together. I'm so excited to be here. This is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. Y'all gonna learn about Nikki and her, like she's a superhero as a hairstylist and as a registered nurse, and she does both right now. So she's really I'm just happy and elated to have her on this panel. Next I'm gonna bring in my good girlfriend Pekela. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. So good to see you guys.
Perfect. And then last but certainly not least, someone who's been so instrumental in my career and my journey here, who has been a resource and an aid and someone that I could call and brainstorm with. And just, someone I know that always wants to share information, Miss Evie Johnson. Did you come?
Okay, I'm finally in. I'm so sorry, y'all.
Oh, there you go.
Is this fine?
Sorry, y'all. Oh, did I click? Oh, I'm sorry. I clicked the wrong person. Sorry. That's Ashunta. I clicked. You came in on me as I was clicking. This is the tech world, y'all. In the middle of my panel, my computer crashed, but the summit was still going on, and I had a whole panic attack that everybody saw. But two people came on at once: Miss Evie Johnson and Miss Ashunta, who is our makeup extraordinaire, holding it down for the makeup community on this panel. I'm going to hop off, and I'm going to let Darian do what she does, and I am excited to have an insightful conversation and listen from behind the scenes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Name. First of all, hello to all of you. I am so excited to be in conversation, especially about community. Again, my name is Darian. I'm a reporter, and I specifically focus on beauty at the intersection of politics and pop culture. And so a lot of what I write and what I work on definitely surrounds community, and a lot of it Black women. So this conversation is something I'm thinking about all of the time, especially now. And I want to take a moment because I know how all of how beauty professionals are, especially with the work that you guys do. Again, sometimes way too humble, more humble than I think you should be. So I'm going to do these intros to make sure that everyone really can fully understand all of the amazing work that you all do. Starting with Ashunta. Ashunta Sherrif-Kendricks is an award-winning makeup artist whose career spans over 20 years. She's worked in all mediums of makeup, which led her to develop the market's first dual-ended face foundation stick in 2013. And the product launched on QVC as one of the first African-American owned businesses on the network. Ashunta currently teaches makeup masterclasses all around the globe. So thank you, Ashunta, so much for being here with us.
I'm just correct. It's Ashunta.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, I before, because growing up, I let people say it however, and my mother was like, no, this is your name. So
yes,
it's Ashunta, and it's Ashunta Sherrif-Kendricks. Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry I'm a little late. We actually it's been interesting. This morning got more unfortunate news on deaths and family. So it's just been a very crazy morning for me. But thank you guys so much for having me. I'm very, very honored to be here.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Evie Johnson is a certified trichologist, salon owner, platform stylist, and educator. She holds the title of Master Stylist for Mazzani's International Developmental Program, and she educates beauty professionals on taking their careers to the level that some of them didn't even know or realize that they could achieve. When beauty industry professionals want to take their career to the next level, they call Evie. So Evie, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Evie.
Okay, so I'm unmuted now. Thank you for having me. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for having me on this panel. It's been great. I've been watching all day, and it's just been a great experience.
Yes. Okay, I heard you say your name earlier, Pekela, but I really want to make sure. I feel like I'm still not pronouncing it right.
Oh, you did so great. It's Pekela.
It's Pekela. Okay. PK. I feel like people call you PK for short. I saw.
Yeah, it's about 50-50.
Okay.
PK, yes.
Okay. Well, for everybody out there, Pekela is a hairstylist, educator, salon owner, and founder of the extensions brand True and Beauty Hair. As a second-generation hairstylist, her passion and drive have propelled her to be amongst some of the industry's top innovators. Today, she serves as an artist and trust culture leader in the artistic direction for global beauty brands such as Revlon's Cream of Nature, L'Oreal's Mazzani, and core developmental texture arts and education curriculums for the world's largest beauty retailer, Ulta. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Awesome, Pekela.
Pekela.
Yes.
That made me tired.
Nicole Newland is a hairstylist with over 20 years of experience, and she's also a practicing registered nurse. She focuses on being a professional who excels at treating and styling all types of hair to best suit clients and clients' needs. Nicole has been featured in editorials such as Elle, Vogue, Essence Magazine. I believe everyone here has had their work featured definitely in media and within the press. And her clientele Nicole's clientele has included June Ambrose, Yvonne Orji, Simone Mythic, Amanda Seales. And Nicole, I recently saw that you did Issa Rae's hair for the most recent Cosmopolitan magazine cover.
Yes, I did. It was amazing. That was like such a profound moment. Thanks to Felicia. And it amazing. It was an amazing moment.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And I think even just thinking about and kind of hitting that point, I feel like, and getting to the core of this conversation is thinking about the community, the conversations, the spirit around, either whether within a salon or being on set for something that you're creating. I think that sure, during this time, a lot of people have learned how to do like some simple styles or maintenance, or maybe they're learning how new things about their body, about their hair, nails, makeup that they never knew how to do before. I mean, me right now, I don't really know how to do way too much to my hair. So they're in these little braids that I've put together. But I think that still, even at the core is people, yeah, sure, they're learning how to do certain things. They're missing the experience of being in a salon. They're missing the experience of having their hair taken care of. They're missing the experience of just that conversation and that relationship that they build with a makeup artist or with a hairstylist. And so I think that's really important to remember, even, as we go through this. And I think the first question that I actually just would love to dive into for all of you is, a lot of you here own salons or businesses that have been affected by COVID. And I'd love to know first, kind of like what guidelines like your state has put into place. And then also when you would be able to reopen, and also what your plan is based off of all the information that you have and because I think that I think that we have been given a lot of confusing language at times, but a lot of this has been about, how can we take what we do know and apply that to our businesses. And Nicole, I would love to start with you.
Okay. So I think right now during this pandemic that we're in, it's hard because now, we aren't, for myself, I'm a freelance artist, so I'm not at a hair salon. So most of the time I'm on set for, a photo shoot, or I'm at, a client's home or at their hotel, if they're visiting, or if I'm traveling to, wherever it is that I'm traveling to go and style them. So obviously it's hard to, most of the times we have the hairstylist and makeup artists working together, and most of the time we only have like an hour to execute certain things, or 2 hours, whatever the time may be. And we're right on top of the client, tag teaming and doing them together. So that's gonna be very different, when things get back to, some type of normalcy. Maybe, an hour for the hairstylist and maybe an hour for the makeup artist. So we're both not hovering over the client. Wearing face shields, wearing masks while we're working. So many different things are gonna have to come into play. Making sure that we aren't sick around the client, making sure that, if we are, that we reach out to our fellow, hairstylists or makeup artists, trying to, just to tag team and to help out whichever we can. But it'll definitely be different. It won't be the same anymore, at least for right now.
Evie, what about for you?
So for me, I do have a salon, and it's more so we have suites at the salon. And so what we're going to do is basically, when you come in, you'll be greeted by the receptionist. I have like all these sanitizer stations set up, ready to go. And you definitely have to stay in your cars until you get the text, via, Vagaro saying your appointment is ready. So as soon as they come in the salon, if they're not getting color, they go directly to the shampoo bowl to get shampoo right away. And then the client or guest leaves the bowl, go directly to the stylish room to be, styled or whatever there. Every appointment is to be booked 2 hours apart. And definitely a lot of information, documented information, like, where they've been. So it's going to be a lot. And then they must wear masks. They must wear gloves. No mask, no service. But of course, we'll have some masks there to be, purchased if you don't have it, because there's no excuse. There's no such thing as, I left it at home, or I left it in my car. No, don't worry, baby. We got something there right for you. So you will be serviced with your mask. Also for us, the stylists at the salon, making sure they, keep their immune system up while we're home, building their immune system so they can, combat anything if it comes their way. And then, not to mention, they need to stay gloved up. They need to stay masked. We have shields, disposable capes, towels stay in your room, they to wash. Nobody should share. Every time a person leaves, you sanitize the chairs. It's going to be a lot. And then, by the way, you need to take the Barbicide certification. And then, of course, we'll get the COVID cleaning that we do every 90 days to make sure everything is safe and, ready to go for the clients. Now, we're not ready to open yet in the state of Maryland. But when we do, I definitely have a game plan.
Yeah, I feel like you just gave so many great tips or practices that I hope some people picked up on and can think about implementing as well. Ashunta, what about with you?
For me, I think I'm the only makeup artist in this group. And I also work TV and film, so totally different animal. But we just received union guidelines. I'm in Local 798, which is the Hair and Makeup Artist Union, IATSE. And the guidelines stated a lot of what Evie just stated for hair and makeup people and barbers. But I will also state that it said that even for actors, like when we're doing our actors, they can't, of course, have their faces covered while we're doing makeup on them. That's impossible. So I would have mask, shields. They would like for us to wear rubber gloves. I'm going to have an issue with that because I've been playing and doing makeup tutorials on myself, and I cannot do makeup rubber gloves. So I'm gonna have to start practicing how to do makeup like that. That's a whole nother meeting. I trained under Pat McGrath and Vincent Longo, like that. Using your hands is very important because your hands create emollients for the products to help them to be more premier. And
Oh, I think you just muted yourself by mistake.
you know what's happening? It's just I don't know. It's Mercury in retrograde because that's what it feels like. So that's one aspect. The other thing I saw with regards to actors was really interesting. That, you know, on a set, you can imagine, like I was on Empire, we have a crew of 400 and something people. So now they're stating that the crews will be pared down tremendously. It'll be literally only the people that are absolutely necessary to be on set. When actors go to do rehearsal, usually they rehearse the scenes. And then they'll go get dressed and go and come back to record and film. Now, when they go to rehearse, they'll be masked. They have to be 6 feet apart. So that's going to be weird for the actors. How are they going to convey emotions and they have to be 6 feet apart and masked? And what about intimate scenes? And they're talking about green screen, using one body, one actor for it, and then them green screening the other actor. And because a lot of actors don't want to be intimate with each other right now after COVID, and rightfully so. So it really is greatly, tremendously affecting, you know, our entire industry. And it's definitely going to be a new normal for a long time. Disposable everything, of course, disposable palettes, disposable brushes. I've been telling all my makeup mentees that I mentor, you know, if you have a serious client, like someone like me who works with Taraji all the time, you know, she's going to have, of course, all her own stuff. She actually has her own kit now. So a kit that
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. It's strictly for her, and she will be like, if you use these brushes on anyone else, I'll kill you. That's her exact word. So, but I mean, I would anyway. But the bottom line is, it's just be very costly for a lot of up and coming makeup artists who aren't established, like all of us hair and makeup people in this chat, to be able to keep up with what they're going to have in terms of supplies to do clients. So it's going to be just really interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. One point that you brought up that I hadn't thought about is, you know, obviously you're doing a lot of work with your hands, and the idea of doing it with gloves is going to be a huge adjustment. And however, at the same time, it also feels like in my head, I'm envisioning like just more content or videos or how-tos around like how to do that. Might be interesting.
I was even saying, if someone is genius enough and has the resources to create skin-like gloves, because the thing with gloves, and someone, I was in a live today doing a live talk with someone with Hype Hair actually, and we were talking about gloves, and someone said, well, use smaller sizes. Well, that doesn't work when you have fingernails, because your nails. So not only do you want me to change everything, I've got to cut my nails off too. No, that's not. But yeah, so if we can develop new gloves that feel like skin, that would be amazing, because everything that I've been doing with makeup, I can hold a brush and do foundation, blush, bronzer. Okay, so I don't want to make it seem like I can't do anything. But the things that I do use with hands, like skincare or, you know, like cream blushes or cream eyeshadows, things of that nature, that's where it's much more tough to do it with rubber gloves on.
Yes. And PK, what about with you? What have you been thinking about?
So, just like everybody all these ladies on the panel, I feel like the hybrid of each of them, because I am a salon owner, have, you know, contracts for art direction, and I have done celebrity work. So every single dynamic that's happening is going to affect me in some way. But the bigger issue versus beyond us just adapting to how we physically create this service, it really changes dynamics of the business model. And so I've had Salon PK here in Jacksonville for 15 years. And beyond the way it will affect us and how we service, it really changes the business model. And now we're going to have to restructure those numbers and how we even set up our businesses. So beyond the practices of old, the business models of old have basically been essentially put on their head. And so beyond the skill aesthetic, we have to get into the books and the numbers and how can this even practically be viable. That's the real work, because I don't think that we will lose our artistry. I think we are navigating waters as to how, once we are able to do fabulous, wonderful, dreamy makeup like Ashunta with gloves on, because if anybody can figure it out, she can.
Mm-hmm.
But that may take her a longer period of time, or take us so much longer to service a client to put all these protocols in place. So now, what does that business model and what does that scale, that scaling of revenue look like?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And myself as a writer, I feel like I get a lot of emails around, people wanting press, people wanting coverage. And I feel that what I really like to remind people is that, like, your community are the people who really ordain you. Your community, word of mouth, and like the community that you can create is really at the foundation of your business. And I feel like that it should be a good point when thinking about business model or just thinking about business moving forward. And one of the questions I have here has to do with intentional ways that beauty experts can reach out to existing clients just to ensure that relationship isn't strained post-quarantine. I'm curious, if anyone has any thoughts on that. You can just take yourself off of mute. Yeah, Ashunta.
I'm raising my hand like I'm in class. So I'll do that. I actually just talked with T yesterday. I called Taraji T because we're like family, and we were literally, because once Empire ended, we were gearing do all these other projects. She has stuff going on. So I was actually moving to Los Angeles. Like it's a huge setback in so many different ways. I mean, I'm just overwhelmed, honestly. But we were talking about like how do we move forward with this, when things do lift. And she came up with some really great suggestions in terms of client comfortability. She said if someone like me and her, it's easy, because I was saying, like, I just get tested, you get tested, and we find out we're negative and we're good. She was like, but what about the other more paranoid people, like who aren't as, don't have that trust built up? Like new clients, for example, like a lot of us get new clients through a referral, and that referral business, to speak to what Pika said, is like, that may go out the window because now people will pray. So Taraji she said, well, maybe we can have like, she said something that states that we're COVID negative, it sounds so simple, but she was like, something that states like almost like an official certification, like we are a COVID negative business, we're a COVID negative artist. I don't know how we would establish that, throughout the industry, out of just everybody getting tested and finding out. But what happens if you had COVID and you overcame it? Does that affect people, wanting to come? Will that still freak them out? Stigma. It reminds me a lot of HIV when it first hit us, in the 80s. And I'm 40. So anyway, I was just saying that just reminds me a lot.
I would say this real quick, just to kind of add to it. I had suggested that maybe, clients, they're going to be very, skeptical in the beginning. So I was like, well, maybe, we as the artists, we can kind of have a little video, like a little, teaser where we have like, this is what we're doing. Like, let's take makeup artists, for example, show you, doing your thing and making sure that you sterilize. Salon setting, like take, Pekela and myself, who have a salon, like show the actual cleaning happening, the preparation you're taking, for the client, and have a video that lives on your site, whether it's your Instagram, whether it's your Facebook or whatever, so that guest or client knows when I go to her for the first time or for the second time, or if I haven't seen her in years, at least they took the precaution of doing it after every guest. So I say just make a little teaser, let everybody know what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a great time to, really anchor into those existing relationships. Yeah. And it's really, it's really beneficial to nurture them. And they're, I don't want to say that, I don't think they'll be challenging to nurture, because the same way they, clients may feel skeptical at this moment, they aren't as likely to try someone new. So, had a decent foundation or a great foundation with them, then definitely you want to touch base with them and just sort of shore that up. you know, and really make it about the person, not about the service. You know, don't just jump in about your hair, your makeup. You know, really see how they are doing, because many of them are experiencing anxiety, depression. Many of them are not working. Many of them have, you know, lost people. I found out, you know, someone that um, that we know, you know, lost their father, their grandfather yesterday. So, you know, beyond just, you know, checking on our clients and shoring up our revenue, we want to make sure that they feel that we care about them. And once clients know that, and once they know that they really matter to you, you're going to be that person that they trust, because that connection is there. And I think that what Evie shared too, really, I think the new content, the new layer to content is beyond the aesthetic of here's the shot. You know, that little behind the scenes of your care, your procedures is really going to add a value and another layer of trust to the way that you service your craft.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump in, y'all. I'm back. Just because this conversation is something that Evie and I have talked offline, but I have a question, because Evie, you said something about showing the procedure, and I just want to get your thoughts, because so many people have been posting these like treatments that they're getting done in their salons and things like that. So as a salon owner, how do we know the difference if like that treatment actually is going to protect us? Are we scared that if we say that we did this treatment, are we, you know, I just go back and forth. Like, there are these treatments that people are saying, oh, you could take this treatment and it's going to prevent you from COVID sticking. But then I'm like, if that's true, then why aren't hospitals using it? So that's something that I just throw out there. Like, how do we know what actually is going to protect us? Are states giving, or should we go to state guidelines, CDC guidelines? Because Virginia, we're able to open back up. And I have clients talking about, let me book an appointment. And I'm like, I don't know what booking an appointment looks like yet for me.
Right. Right.
Same here. We just found out we can open. I literally, before we jumped on, I found out that, you know, Florida salons can open, I believe that's Monday. But again, still mapping out what that looks like as it relates to client care and how and logistics, because there's so many layers to it. And also too, business owners now are in the face of, you know, we know what to do. Technically, you know, there's lots of information out. I feel like the best source, of course, is the CDC. So we have a sense of what those procedures are that we need to put in place. But are we mentally, emotionally, and physically equipped? Because our craft, the way we give, you know, whether it's on set, whether it's with a celebrity, whether it's behind the chair, we give so much. And so this quantifies our work effort in exponents. And so you're going to find that beyond the procedures, many of us are going to have to do that personal assessment as to, can we even go into this new space of beauty?
Yeah. And I also think if you bring up a really great point just around information, right? What's true, what's false. You know, people are making certain claims about whether it's medicinal or things that we can treatments that we can use in our hair. And Nicole, I would love to hear your perspective on that. You know, kind of just I think that sometimes people can make claims about what things and what certain products or ingredients can do in good faith, but there has to be some information and some research that's backed up by that too. So I would love to know your perspective on that.
My perspective on, can you repeat that question? I'm sorry.
Sure. Just a perspective on Yune's point, just around some information that she's been seeing shared around like treatments or things that you can do that can prevent COVID in some way. And I don't always feel like I guess I'm just curious to know your thoughts about that and the way that people share information, even if it's with a good spirit and goodwill.
Okay. I think right now in regards to treatments, I don't think, I know there isn't a cure for this that I can tell you. And I think from a nursing standpoint, on the other spectrum of what I do, you know, I'm taking care of these patients, and you know, we don't have a cure for them yet. You know, I don't know. I think the only thing I can say is that we have to build our immune system. I think The media doesn't talk enough about that enough. Of like regular home remedies, like herbal, remedies and things of that nature, like ginger and, I don't know if you guys see all these things that people are boiling and the teas that people are drinking and things of that nature. Eating your vegetables, eating, taking vitamins, things that you need to build your immune system, I think is very imperative, right now, especially. So I think that that's something important. Washing your hands, something that we should have been doing regardless. And I find that that's so weird that, that's like a main thing, but some people, I guess, don't. But it's going to be hard. Like I said, it's going to be hard to, especially for freelancers, where we're going, we get a call and we say, oh, meet up with this client at such and such hotel. It's gonna be hard because, like, how do you know if they had it? How do you know if, like Ashunta said, like saying, okay, you test and I test, and if we, if we're both negative, then then we could be together and do glam and be free. But I don't know if that's hard to tell, because I can test negative today and then 3 days later I can test positive. So like that's gonna be, you just hope that people are honest with you, and you hope that people are, if they're sick, that they stay away from you. It's just hard. I don't know how else to explain it. It's not, Go ahead, Ashunta. Sorry.
Sorry, I mean, I have something to say because, I was talking with my husband about this, and he, us being caregivers, because that's what the nature of our business is. We care for people, we're caregivers. I always say I'm a gratified indentured servant, and people, some people hate when I say that, but there, to some level you are when you work with a celebrity or celebrities like the way I do, like 24/7, like I'm like a cosmetic surgeon for a celebrity, so my number's on speed dial. But my husband said, it's not just about, what Pekela was saying too, in terms of great service and being clean and all, but also about our health too. It's important. Absolutely. Because when you get sick, any of you guys get sick, and you guys have families, and you go home and give it to your husband, your kids, or your grandmother. So our personal health and space is just as valuable, because what we do for a living is, is a gift from God. We're using that gift to put on other people, and we can't diminish that gift too. So as much as we're giving a service, we have to also serve ourselves and make sure we're healthy, make sure our space is healthy. And I listen, how do you say your name? Yene? Is that the right way to say it?
Yene.
Yene. No, I just want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. She hit it right on the nail. I understand having some angst to open up, because it's not just about wanting to have God, about your own health too. What if that client isn't honest with you and is sick? How many clients have come to you guys with a cold, or boiling or coughing? I know a lot of my celebrity clients have been sick around me, and I wasn't masked. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. I had a whole bitch fit. Sorry, but anyway, at the end of the day, so it's a full circle conversation. It's not just about the client health; it's about our health too, and it's about the team that with us, whether it's your staff, whether it's your assistant, your PR. It's so many components in this, and that's why it's so crazy. So everybody who has salons, spas, take your time, figure it out. Don't rush. I know is also the root of all evil. So make sure that you're going into business with the heart of not going for money. That's just what we can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
The money if you're on your deathbed.
Yeah,
right?
But that's what's going to happen.
And that's the thing. And I think there is some complacency too about let's get back to the money, because many of us, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but you have lots of very young people who see that they feel like they're healthy, they feel like they can beat it, but it's not so much about like what it's just, can you beat it, but also you have the ability to spread that to your grandmother or someone around you. So it's really important to, and when I speak to the caveat of the business model, is because when you work there, it's going to help build in sort of the framework in which you're able to schedule these people out. And I'm speaking from a salon sense. You know, certainly on the freelance or celebrity, that's going to be based on trust and it's relational. But in a salon perspective, there, you know, you're going to have to build out that cost model to really predicate how your spacing can be, and if that's ultimately viable. So along
Pekela,
with
I have sorry, Pekela and Evie, I just because knowing that you guys are salon owners, I'm curious to know, are you all thinking about changing prices? Are you all looking at, like, what have you guys even thought that far? Like, as you talk about the pricing model, because for example, like we at Aesthetics, we're going to work limited days. Because some of my stylists are mothers, right? So the kids are at home, so they can't go back to work. They don't have childcare like they had before. So they only could work certain days, but also taking into consideration that they don't want to necessarily come back all the way. So they're thinking about, okay, what services do I offer? Do I offer these longer services that normally I used to do a roller set, throw them in the dryer, do someone else next? But now I don't want that many people around me at one time. I'm trying to limit it. So do you charge to take the service off altogether?
well,
I was like, go ahead, PK. You want to go?
As stylists, we've always lived in this emotional space. We've always been guilted about the time cost value. And the reality of it is that, you know what, I feel like we were all blessed with our gifts and we were all blessed with gifts, and God wanted us to prosper with those gifts, not to suffer and, you know, quite frankly, be broke. If we go into it with the same price point, as much as we may want to in our hearts, it won't matter if you can't keep your doors open at that cost.
Right.
So, you know, where you may have intent, that intent, you know, has to be viable in the end. And so here's why I say so, because this is not an opportunity to capitalize on anybody. It's just that the state of beauty, the state of salons in which we know it are irreparably injured, and it's going to need added support. And that support is going to be in our cost time value. We're going to have to build that in. Otherwise, no matter if you come back or not, and you space your people out, and you follow the gloves, and you learn how to do the amazing work of Ashunta in gloves, it does not matter if you cannot cost that in to keep your doors open. Ultimately, your clients not only lose your service, the community loses your salon.
Yes.
Yeah. And can I add to that? So being Pekela always dropping gems, just so you know.
Always.
Yes.
Just be feeling it, like we have, you know. I feel like, and I'm not. It's just like, listen, Nicole is gonna always be able to slay ahead of hair, you know. But what does that look like for her to live a successful and viable lifestyle, servicing in the new order? And I call it the new order because I said the other day, I said the new BC, like the Bible referred to, is before Corona, and the AC is after Corona. We can't come into a new world with an old game.
No, you can't. We talked about that yesterday.
We can't.
Yeah.
There is no more normal. We are the pioneers of the new beauty.
But you know what? It was time for change. You know, we talked about that. It's like, you know what? God was like, you know what? Everything needs to change. Y'all been operating. Y'all been doing things a certain way. So let me just change it for everyone. And so the new normal is, so just to kind of add to what, you know, all of you all are saying, you know, what's going to be major important is setting the expectations. And setting an expectation, meaning, okay, yeah, you're on a book right now, make an appointment to get your hair done. But what's going to have to happen is, I need to do setup consultations first so I can set up the expectation so you know. So before any client, before any guest, whether it's celebrity, whatever, it needs to be a consultation in place, regardless of what you do, you know, because I have an expectation of staying safe and keeping you safe. You know what I mean? And so with doing that, putting that in place, it allows us to know exactly what we're working with. So just to phone up and say, hey, can you work on the celebrity? No, let's do it now, because that's how I used to operate. Now, moving forward, we need to have a conversation so we can be eye level. We can connect in a way that's totally different. So consultations need to be done. So before that salon visit comes in, Okay, you've been gone for a long time, so that means maintenance needs to happen. Okay, and I need to let you know what's going to happen with that. And price change, Janae, to mention that, I wouldn't really say price change. I would recommend like a service, a service fee, because a lot of times people
Like a minimum price point.
yeah, a client can be somebody can take it a little further. It might leave a bad taste in your mouth. So having a service fee connected to everyone's, price points that you already have now would be a nice way of like getting things in, because now you're talking about service fee because you have to get cleaning product. Sanitation needs to happen. So everything must change. So putting that in your service menu, having a service fee, you would dictate that by knowing what is it going to cost, how much am I losing, and then you put your service fee. So like maybe let's do prime example. My wrap and curl may be $150. Now you may have a service fee of $50 added to it. So now your price points now is $200 for the service. Then you can come or not. You can pick or choose. But I don't want you to sit in my chair being like, oh yeah, it's $200 now. Well, even it was just $100, 3 months ago. Yeah, that's before COVID. But that's not setting expectations. So having consultation is going to be super key before any makeup, before any session work, before the client come in, regardless of whatever it is.
You hit everything on the nail that I was going to say, because I was literally, you got fees, you got disposable products, you have, like I was adding, and I don't even own a salon, but they're doing the adding like a service fee. So Yanae, exactly. Just don't up your prices, but create a service fee that will make sense for your clients based off of what you see you're putting out for this COVID action that has to take place for your salon.
And they're going to respect that. People are going to respect that more to say, oh, my price is right, jumped up. But they're going to respect what just happened and that you took the initiative to do all these things. So
you can even do a quick you can even do a beautiful video in your home and do a mass blast email to all of your clients. This is what I probably will do. Just saying, now that we are in the midst of AC after Corona, I'm taking that from people.
That's gonna be
these are my new standards. These are my new guidelines. And actually, me and my manager Tamara were just talking about that yesterday, because we too, as freelancers, have to figure out how that looks. Because my mic wants to take me off, but I rebuke you. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Okay, but I think that for a freelancer, like, for someone like any of us who have freelance, you can't do that last minute call. Calls I got last minute, like, hey, can you come do Carmen and Jogo like now? That can happen. So all of that income is now, all that quick do and go income is pretty much gone for me, for someone like me. So having a service price, I'm definitely going to have to implement a service price for all my services, because I'm going to have an entire stack of income for sure for a long time.
I also think the idea about the video is really is really good too.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I love that what you said, Evie. I think that one thing that I'm grateful for is that I've been trying to tell people that they got to charge their worth, and they got to understand. I think people just charge prices to charge prices. And the one thing that COVID has made most people do is they have to sit down and figure out their numbers and their financials, right? So it's just like, I'm charging, you could just, people charging $45 for a wash and blow dry. And I'm like, how much does it cost you to provide that service? But you don't know. And now you're going to add in, I got to, sterilize. I got to do consultations. I got to do, I have to get disposable things. I have to have disposable cups if I'm servicing drinks. I have to, there's so many other factors, and people aren't thinking about, okay, so I think the way you say it is putting it as a service fee is essential. And I think that it is evening out that playing field for people to charge their worth.
Yeah. And beyond what we have to do, what salons will have to do on a day-to-day basis, just to come in, even in the space, how we're taking our time. And I think that if you are, I know many people have to get right back to work. If there is a chance that you can think this through thoroughly, then please take that time to do that. Because beyond just going in and, you're not able to serve coffee anymore, or you have to remove that candy dish, you may have to change your build out. You may have to add plexiglass layers. You may have to remove bowls so that you have that adequate spacing. You may have 10 chairs, and now you have to move stations out and rearrange things. So, you know, there could even be, in many cases, build out costs. You know, if you don't have a situation, if you're not in a suite, many people are in a suite, or if you don't have a suite situation, a suite situation like Evie, you know, if you have an open space salon, then there may be a build out cost to that as well. So there's so many parameters, so many dynamics that need to be weighed out. And that what I encourage stylists to do at this time is, yes, we're in a space where we can learn, and we're in a space of content, and everybody is coloring, and we're able to watch all of these videos on how we do our craft. What I want you to do right now is really believe in your skill and believe in your talent, and understand that that will be there. And this is the moment where we need to pair our gifts with the areas in which we're weak in. We really need to understand. We need to pair them with viability. You know, it's like we take so much pride in being the starving artist. We wanna have this full humbleness forever. I don't need much to make it. You know, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's okay when you love yourself. You say, you know what? I want to do this at my highest good, and I want the things around me to serve me in my highest good. And so this is a moment I feel like, you know, just stop if you can. Put your numbers on paper. Think about what you made in the past. What do you need to make? If that was 8 people a day, what does that look like at 4 people a day? How much will your build out cost? How much will your cleaning cost? You know, you might have gone in and done that cleaning once a week to save money, but if you now have to work 7 days a week just to space out your clients, or you have to have extended days just to keep those clients within the ranges of social distancing, you may have to bring in just for the physical well-being. You may have to bring in a cleaning crew. I actually think that each business, especially if you have a salon, you should factor that in, because you need a deeper level of cleaning. And for your guests and for their highest good, you're accountable to a deeper level of cleaning. Yes. What you feel like doing at the end of the day is no longer going to suffice. Everything has leveled up, and we are now in a new phase that beauty, especially as it relates to professional beauty behind the chair, it is a luxury. It is a luxury, and we need to encompass that and really create that value experience from every level. But it starts on paper.
One other point I just wanted to bring up before we go to questions is, I know that there are a lot of people watching who own businesses or have teams or people who they manage and who they're in charge of. And I wanted to know from all of you, are there any resources that you guys have found that are for business owners, beauty business owners, that you have been able to use to support team members if you've had to furlough your staff for the mandatory shutdowns?
Okay, can you ask that again?
Sure. I said, are there any resources that beauty business owners can use to support their teams as they've now had to furlough staff? Is there anything that you guys have used or seen that has just helped help your staff right now?
Yeah, I did far as 2 ways. Money wise, we used I have a young lady who by the name of Sharon Anderson, who was able to get, people, they apply for different COVID money, like nobody gets denied. Like she was able to get the money. Of course, you got to pay a fee, but she was able to give people the money. And also, as far as like getting the salon together, like for your staff, like what's to expect and things like that, going back with the reference with Salon Summit. And which is what I sent you earlier, Yanae.
Yeah, I'm gonna send that out.
Yeah, so I sent Yanae a website for all of the stylists, salon owners who can, benefit from, just reading all the information. And then too, Mazani, we're actually the team is working on like what are the best practices going back. So that'll be another reference too that you can get to your staff going forward. So it's financially, and then of course, getting back into work on the things you need to do, best practices, which I find that is very important. One of the things that I know Pekela touched on really quick earlier, we were talking about everything's online, classes and things, but I've been wondering, I keep seeing all this noise, I keep seeing everything on Instagram, but I'm like, what about their mentals? You know what I mean? Like, how's everybody really feeling? everybody's not really happy this is going on. Some people needed a break. Some people didn't need a break. Some people, like Pekela and I talked for like an hour yesterday. We were like, people wasn't as busy as us. So, her and I was like, yes, thank God we have a break. Some other people wasn't as busy. So it's like, their money is affected. Everybody didn't plan the way, everybody didn't plan in a way to, for cushions and things like that. So their mental is not the same. Everybody's not homeschooled. You know what I mean? So what things are we putting in place for those, that need that? Everybody don't want to cut and color all the time. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't want, it's like Pekela said, everybody's like, okay, everybody get their doll babies out, everybody get their paintbrushes out, and everybody start working on things. Like, that's not the way you do things. You know what I mean? Like, what about your mental? Because it starts from here first and it trickles down.
I want to speak on that because that's right up my girl's alley. So Taraji has an organization called the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation, and this is a shameless plug, but it's true. She's offering mental health services for free for people, first responders, but anyone who's in need of mental health right now during COVID. Like what he's saying is right on point. For someone like me who works 365 days a day, this is a great break. Another thing I want to add to that is New Voices New Voices. Basically, I saw an email from them where they had on an application, which is basically founded by Shea Moisture's owner, Richard. How can I say his last name? But anyway, Richard owns it. He owns Shea Moisture, and he launched. Yes, thank you. He launched an initiative that Black women who.
Mike messing with you, girl.
Because I'm about to say, it's just technology on my end. I don't know, Chicago. But you guys can, I'll send you that as well, Janae, the information for female Black-owned businesses. There's some initiative there in terms of some financial support when people apply for it. That's another service, that's helpful to other people. Another thing that I've been telling a lot of artists is, you didn't save before, start saving now. I have an app called Digi. Okay. I don't know if anyone knows about Digi.
Yeah.
So I've been saving with Digi now for probably since the app maybe started maybe about a year and change. And I always tell people I should show them like how it worked for me. It works off of algorithms. So it basically takes money from your account once you've signed it up and you don't even miss it. And literally in about a year, I've saved like almost like $80,000. Seriously, because it just money from your account based on, and it goes off of your finances. It goes off of what you're putting in your account. But it's a great way to like mentally just pull that money away and put it away. And you can save rainy day. You can make a retirement plan. You can create whatever kind of savings plan you want. But I think that with traditional savings in a bank, it's very hard sometimes for people to really save that money because it's too expensive. And something like Digicoin is not as accessible. Once that money is in there, you've got to like go through a process, not that long, 5 to 7 days. But sometimes, things change in a matter of a few days. You may not need that money. So it's been great for me. So I definitely want to suggest that to artists that are.
Again? Is that Digicoin?
Digi. I'll send that to Yanae as well. And I'll just basically
send that out. That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that.
I love it.
That's the other thing. One thing I will talk about is, and this isn't like a shameless plug, but one of the biggest things for those of you who followed me know that I have a virtual business coaching program because I feel like this is the thing. Like I am so fortunate, and I share this story that in 2015, like a tragedy in the sense, not tragedy, like I was in a car accident, totaled my car, was in a neck and knee brace, and I had lost everything financially. I was out for 2 months in December and January, which were the busiest months for me, like through the holidays. And so it took me hitting rock bottom for me to understand the importance of savings. And I feel like right now, the universe is making all of us reset, and it's making all of us aware that we could live minimally. It's making us learn that we could live minimally. And so figuring out, understanding the importance of financial literacy, understanding the importance of our finances as business owners, whether you are a salon suite, freelance stylist, it doesn't matter. You are your own business, and you have to have a better idea of your finances, and you have to think about worst case scenarios because we're living through it right now. And so financial literacy is so important. It's something our community desperately needs. So when we get information like this, we have to share it with other people. We can't just keep that in. That's what community is. we got to keep our dollar within our community. Like for those of you who got the deck, my main thing is the Black dollar and the Black consumer spend so much in beauty, yet we don't have anything to show for it. The fact that I know salon owners that were out of work for 2 weeks and don't think that they could reopen is mind-boggling to me. And it's hurting. It hurts me to be like, some people are thinking it's an opportunity because, oh, now I have a stylist that could come work for me, but we can't think like that. That's not how we lift each other up.
Right.
You can't be like, oh, they're cool, so now I'll get their stylist. That's not how we grow. That's not how it builds.
You know, and it is about preparing for that rainy day, you know, and you have to do that personally. And as a business owner, you know, for me, I made the call to close the salon prior to the state, because at that time I was from San Francisco to LA to New York, and I got home whole and healthy and grateful, but I realized how busy it was here in our salon, and it terrified me. I'm like, this thing is coming and we need to shut down. And so I was certainly able to support my team for a number of weeks to give them time to allow for other resources to come in. And so had the business not been prepared to, you know, keep the staff, but keep the team afloat, at least for, you know, a decent number of weeks until other resources came in. But what I can share is that there is a great resource for hairstylists as well as salon owners, and it's called Summit. So that's another link that I'll forward to you, Yanae, that I think will be very helpful for a number of resources for individual hairstylists as well as a salon owner. And beyond, you know, the financial aspect of, can stylists, you know, as I shared, many stylists are facing, can they come back financially and can they come back mentally as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one thing else I want to say is for salon owners, PK hit a good point where she said that their business was set up in a way that she was able to help support her staff. I know that there's a lot of people, and I'm not going to tell y'all what to do with your coins, but remember the importance of community. And I'll just share this, and it's not to boast, but I've made the decision, like I run payroll, I got PPP, and not everybody at my salon is on payroll, right? My structure is very unique. But the money that I get for payroll is determined off of the services that the factors of my stylist, what they bring into the salon. So me getting that fund for payroll, it would fluctuate. That was determined based off of what they bring in as well. So with my PPP money, I'm giving it to them as well. Because what good is it if they can't come back to work, right? Mm-hmm. Or if they're struggling. So if I'm in a bill, if I'm taking advantage of figuring out these resources or grants or anything, like you have to share that with the people who support you, right? You have to support your team. You have to support your community, and your community isn't the larger community only. You have to think about your direct community, your bubble, your people, right? Like, don't not bring your cleaning lady back. Everyone's a small business and we're all affected. So just be mindful of like how we work collaboratively, more than just thinking about the me.
Yeah. And I also think that, like, as you're saying, you know, the monetary help, it's not just about helping someone monetarily and what they can do with that money, but also like how that can help them to continue to live and to be well, and to help them to take some of that burden off of their back too. I think it's the emotional release too.
Yeah, and that for me, that was, if there was any moment that I got teary, was really the feedback from my team of like, you didn't have to do this, or, you know, and that was what it was about. It's like, you know what, this is a thick and thin situation. It's not like, hey, we're closed, I'm good, I hope y'all saved your money. You know, as a leader, that's not the position you take. And so you do, it is, like I say, heavy is the head that wears the crown. It's not about walking around in your jewels. It's making that tough call. It's carrying the burden on your back. Right. It's thinking about everybody. There's so many things that would have been just so easy if it was just me. Like, listen, I can be very disciplined, and I have been. So, you know, you could just peace out and like, I hope y'all figure that out. But that's not what it's about, and that's not what has made really my career in this industry happy and whole. It's about the people around you, and they're going to remember if you were there for them, or if you left them high and dry. You're always going to answer for that.
And I would add to that too. This is not the opportunity, because I'm seeing, of course, stuff on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. This is not the time to do the spanking on the hands. You know what I mean? Like, some people say, okay, so some of us didn't do certain things. Okay, so it's my past don't have nothing to say to my future. You feel what I'm saying? So therefore, moving forward, this is what I need to do. So let's have these conversations like this. Let's create these platforms, because we as artists, we're very flashy sometimes. We can spend money because we can make it so quick. But here's what I want to say. We have to put ourselves in a position to make residual income. It's a must. If you ain't learned that by now, you have to have multiple streams. We can't just, because we have to show up our money physically. You know what I mean? Like, I can't get paid for this job unless I'm here. I can't get paid because we artists and we use our hands. Let's not solely rely on this. Let's use this time. If we're resetting, here's the time to think. Let's reset with this. So when we move forward for a pandemic like this, we'll be prepared. But don't spank each other on the hand. So what I did say, okay,
right.
Forgive me. You know what I mean?
Right.
But give me the information that I need to move forward. And that's why I haven't really been saying too much of anything. Like Pekela and I talk all the time. It's like we just chilling. If it ain't really talking about finances, about people getting more money, or helping them get more money in their households, I really don't want to talk about it. I don't really want to do all this. I do that. But here's the time where we need to have a conversation. Let's plug in how we can get better with our finances, because one thing that I feel like we miss in beauty school and when we get our license is the ability, because we're so artistic. What about the saving component? What about the stock component? What about the investment component? We really don't get that unless we around those like-minded people who invest and they teach us. But this is something that should be part of our job and our license. You can't renew unless you saved a certain amount. You can't do this. CU hours shouldn't just be about education. It should be about finances as well. Because I really feel like we missed the buck a lot with that. So
a lot of that I feel like is cultural incompetence.
It is.
Because of what, let's just put it out there. We're 500 years post-slavery. So I say we're in post-traumatic slavery disorder. That's what I call it. And that's facts. Us as Black people, as a culture, financial literacy is not what we're taught. We don't see it from our parents. Our parents save, usually saving to get something. And then once they get something, they spend it. And then the saving starts all again. So that's how I was taught to save. And that's really not what saving is, right? Savings is to be saved, period. Not just to buy on a sofa or buy on a fur coat or saving up for those. We have a layaway mentality, and that's not our fault. It's been placed on us.
Layaway mentality.
Yes, and guess what? I bet you one thing. What kills me though is that everybody talk about the latest bag, the latest this, the latest shoe, the latest designer. And right now, I wonder if we having that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Or can we resell all that stuff? We're so flashy at times, which kills me. I'm like, okay, if you want to buy this bag, you have this much in your bank account saved 10 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, this.
Do you got as much in your wallet as how much the bag cost you?
It's really that
we laying it away because we like to make payments on it, But we should definitely reset and think about it different. I'm so big on finances, so big.
It's gonna make me lose my mind. But when I found this out, when you do some history, do you know that when we were slaves, white slave masters would dress us up and showcase us off and bring us? That's what Sunday's best is really about. You guys know that, right? So you bring out Sunday's best. You bring out your slaves on Sunday to church, fully dressed to the nines. So when you really understand why we're like that, that's been placed in us to be flashy, to be like, I got the most. And then of course, the crab in the barrel mentality, that's all been placed in us. So I won't even go deep into that because that's just who I am as a person. But
we gotta get on the call after this.
Right?
We can keep going.
I'll go for that on that.
But I do want to say it's really more like what we're doing now, making sure that we make these moments of connection offline. Because one thing I can say is, like, I talk to Evie so much, and you guys, we rarely talk about hair. We rarely talk about shoes. we rarely talk about bags. I mean, like ever. It's like business. It's like that's how we, it's love and support and, mental encouragement, because we have that mental fatigue cycle that we end up on. But it's
Right.
really like empowering each other in the areas in which we need to stay conscious of. And I feel like, our gift is always in front of us. And so we have to be disciplined to be conscious of those other areas. And Evie is one of those people who, helps me stay accountable in that area. And I think, sometimes we have to find that accountability partner, that says, okay, you know what, I said that this month I was going to do this, this, and this, and before the year is out, who's that person that's going to be like, okay, you over there acting like a foot dragger.
I have a question.
You need somebody to.
I think that what we need to understand and realize is that we're more than just our work, right? At the end of the day, we're more like yes, we're hairstylists, we're makeup artists, we're businesswomen, but we're individuals as well, and we're our character speaks a lot about how we are as individuals and as women, and I just wanted to say that.
I just want to also bring up the fact that, I think for me, going back to the financial literacy component, and I'm gonna just call it as I know it, financial literacy is not something that the Black community we're taught. It's just we're not aware of it. And then I think women entrepreneurs, we struggle more because people don't want to help us. So I think it's so interesting because I felt like so many people with this, when there were these like resources that came available, freelance artists are probably a different ballgame, but hair salon owners, makeup artists, there's so many of us that are cash and carry businesses, and we don't claim everything on taxes, right? And we're just like, nope, I'm not going to pay taxes. I don't pay taxes. I don't pay taxes. I don't pay taxes. But now you want to be like, ain't nobody helping us out. Where do you think the money's going to help you out?
Yeah, and you're right. There has to be mutual accountability. And then going back to like the payroll protection program, our salon ultimately did get payroll protection program, and it is because we had up-to-date accounting. Now we missed that first cycle because we know the swamp drained it. But
girl, me and you both got the second cycle.
The second cycle, we were right up in queue, and it's honestly because I don't sit and have a stack of papers to figure out what Salon PK is doing. That is a part of my overhead. I don't do my own accounting. It's too much. There are too many. The laws change. There's so much that has to be done quarterly. You have to do things, your annual reports. You need accounting. And so we just need to, beyond elevate our craft and our skill set, we really, really have to elevate our business practices, because I did find, the ones who were able to get, now that we're, had to rely on or have federal aid, were the people who had all of their books done. And so that happens with, building that in. And, this is an opportunity to say, hey, when we go back, I'm going to make sure that I at least get QuickBooks or FreshBooks. So you can start there as a suite owner, just get QuickBooks or FreshBooks. You can do that accounting if it's just yourself. But certainly if you have a salon and you don't have things above board, then you definitely, this is an opportunity to bring them above board, because we may be in this state for a while, and you may have to. I don't think that this is the last of disruptions or pandemic. So this is a great opportunity to reset. Disruption. Yeah, this is a great opportunity to reset.
Right.
Yanae, were there any questions from viewers?
I think everything kind of was covered. If anybody wants to drop anything in the questions, everyone is loving it. I just want to, I guess, kind of close this day out, by this panel out, and then I'm gonna just drop some knowledge on y'all about some other events that are happening, more resources, because I'm about community. So people are like, oh, you gonna promote someone else's event? Absolutely. It's information that we all need. We should take all the good information. But I just want to say thank you to everyone on this panel for giving me your time and trusting me. I don't know all of you personally, So I think I only know 2 of you personally, actually, not looking at the panel, but I literally DM'd. And this is the testament about understanding the importance of community, is that this whole entire summit, I slid in everybody's DM and was like, this is what I'm envisioning, and I want you to bring it to life. And I want it to happen in like 7 days. And this is it. And it happened. And so it just shows me that our community needs this information. They want this information, and that we are stronger together. So take that, like, that mentality that like we got to compete with one another, or that we can't share, that we all can't win, out of your head, because it doesn't work. It's not going to do nothing for us, and it's only going to keep us all suppressed. So I want to thank all of y'all, from my moderators to my panelists, all of you ladies, all of the chocolateness that has happened today. I am so happy. We've had over 1,200 people throughout the day come in. So it just shows that we need this. This wasn't for me. This is for us. This is for us. We did this together. So thank you. Thank you for coming in, and just this will be, I'm trying to figure out how we're going to replay this. So I'm getting there. That was, most of the questions were like, can we get a replay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm working on that. I don't know how, but I'm gonna get them, figure out the tech side of it. But if y'all ladies want to say anything else, I will just say this. I'm gonna quickly show there. Well, I don't think I could show it. 2 things that I want to really throw out there. Inside Projects is a small consulting, creative agency that helped do all the back end thing for this. All the panelists will tell you they got like a whole deck and all that stuff. Pro bono, believing in us, Black owned business, small business, just launched. They were extremely supportive. Thank you. And Indique was really like instrumental in helping me with this. So I just want to shout them out. Thank them both for being so great and helpful to us. And then again, everybody on this panel for just giving us your time and your wisdom and your knowledge, and everything that you do for this community collectively and individually is, as I think I'm probably the youngest person on this panel. Yes, I could say that. You guys all inspire me in so many different ways. So I'm forever grateful to you guys.
Yes.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for doing this.
You're amazing. Thanks for putting it together.
Yes.
And we will send you guys some resources. Anything else, anybody?
Yeah, I want to say this before we end. Of course, Yanae, I told you this morning, and you were my first text this morning. I was like, they sent you, great vibes, and I'm very proud of you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. So I want you to do me a favor. Once after this panel ends, and you sit back and you like, woo, pulling off for 7 days. I really want you to reflect on this. I don't want you to kind of be like, we'll get on the phone and do anything. I want you to meditate and realize what you really just did. This was definitely groundbreaking. It was industry breaking. You had amazing people on this panel. None of us have never, this much power having spoken in one day to give all these nuggets to different people in the profession, especially at a time like this. So I really, really want you to meditate on that and not walk away from it. If you got to put yourself in the bathroom, please just lock yourself in the bathroom and really take it all in, and just let it sit, and and don't let this be the last. Continue on.
No, I'm already excited.
With this gift that was given to you, and I've seen you grow. I remember, your start, and I'm definitely very proud to know that you and I can talk, pick the phone up anytime, and consider ourselves to be friends. And I'll say to everybody that's watching, failure is not an option. It's definitely one of my favorite words. And just continue to grow your craft while you're home and while you quarantine. Just get yourself nice and healthy, and don't feel pressure to go back to work, whatever that work is. And just know that, everybody has a place, and definitely a place in a space. This is time to reset. So change, but change with respect and passion, and not just do it just because you feel like everybody else do it. Continue to lead your own path. Don't do something that Pekela's doing, or Evie doing, or Yanae doing. Still have your own lane, brand yourself differently, and remember to just continue to work on your content and your craft and your artistic direction. And for me, I would continue to, of course, push into everyone. I definitely wanted to give you my everything, and I mean my everything if I'm able to give it to you. And if you want to contact me, again, whether it's hair, finances, whatever, I'm always available. My Instagram handle is contact, CONTACT EVIE. And then also, I'm working, next project for me is Evie University, that I'm working on online university for, people, who definitely need it. Everybody can't fly everywhere to go, to go to different classes and things of that nature. But Evie University is definitely going to be something that's groundbreaking. So that's my new project that's coming. And of course, I'm always repping Mazzani, as always. That's my love. That's my heart. And thank you all for having me, Renee. But definitely reflect on that. And you beautiful ladies that is on this panel, it's been an experience. Of course, I haven't, met all of you, but I feel like we are sisters, for right now, and we have connected in so many different ways. And let's continue to bless our industry.
Yes.
Yes, it's amazing, Evie. Thank you.
All righty, ladies.